Hello there, and thank you so kindly for tuning in to Brown Eyes on this beautiful, amazing, wonderful day. Because remember, so as a man thinketh in his heart, then so is he. We are to think upon things that bring us a good report. We are to speak things that are not as though they were already. Well, y'all, I have been in pretty much just kind of keep it to myself all day today. It was kind of cloudy, it still is, in and out the sun. And but I wanted to share my thoughts on something because I mean I meet a lot of men. I don't set out on my days, events to meet people, but I know that there is a possibility you're going to meet people. Opportunity will always present itself to meet someone new, especially of the opposite sex. But I met a particular gentleman a little while ago, and he knew me from a place that I frequented where he worked at. And so he had switched locations, and he remembered me, and I wasn't really paying him any attention, of course. I ain't looking for that. So he approached me, and we began to just have a conversation. But before I left, he made sure he came back and he gave me his telephone number. And so I called, and we began to just communicate. So I'm the type of person like this is I always look for spiritually stimulating conversations because I'm always trying to learn something more than what I know. And I'm a firm believer that the universe will send people into my life that can lead me in a better, more positive direction, especially where my spiritual journey is concerned. So, I don't, when I'm first getting to know someone, I don't take it seriously because I am in control. And I know that I'm not looking for a fuck bud, so to speak. But so we began to talk during the course of time. We was talking on the phone or whatever, and the conversations was beautiful because he was a conscious brother. Now let me tell you this before I go any further. He's a 50-year-old gentleman. Now all of my other videos I talk about younger men, but this is an older guy. So I'm gonna make a point here shortly. So we began to talk, and he let me know that he understood a lot of things from a spiritual perspective, which instantly gets my attention because I am a spiritual sojourner, if you will. I am a Scorpio. I am a nurturer by nature. That's who I am. So his conversations were extremely stimulating. So we're talking, and we hit it off, but I wasn't physically, I really wasn't feeling him like that, but I enjoyed the conversation. So if people tell you that they can't be friends with you and not be intimate, they are a god doggone lie. It's what you want. And if it's not a chemistry there physically, don't force it, okay? Don't force it. Once again, just because the person may have a penis, you may have a vagina, does not mean it's supposed to click up and link up. You hear me? We miss so many beautiful opportunities just being friends because we feel like we have to conquer each other because we are opposite sex, or just because it's the energy that the earth and the universe is on right now, I suppose. But so we began to talk, but things just really wasn't adding up with this brother. He came talking a lot of talk, and he wanted to call me when he wanted to call me, and the times when he said he would call me, he wouldn't call me at that time. And so it really wasn't a big deal, but it was a big deal to me because he was, you know, letting me know that he was romantically interested in me. So I'm thinking, shit, you 50 years old, you about them games too, because what has your attention where you can't do what you say you're going to do? Because mind you, I haven't asked for any of that. So one day we met out at somewhere, and we had a couple of drinks, and he wanted a hug, and all that stuff like that. And I guess a hug can be harmless, but for me, it's I don't have to hug you. It's nothing. If I vibe with you, I vibe with you. Hugging me is not going to make me feel a sexual chemistry with you if I haven't already established some type of emotional bond with you. And for me, that takes time. So, I kind of, how you kind of half hug them, just the top part, just the side of the top. That's kind of how I hugged him because I really wasn't feeling that. But I hugged him nevertheless. And so I remember him texting me later on that evening talking about he had a confession to make. He wanted to kiss me. And so that just completely turned me off, y'all. It just turned me off because I haven't known this guy very long, and I was I was drawn by his knowledge, or by the knowledge that he's at least awakened. He's conscious. He's not just stuck in the matrix way of thinking. He's at least evolved to a better understanding of how all of this really works. So that in itself had my attention. It wasn't about him. It wasn't about his lifestyle, what he had going on, or anything like that, because I wasn't interested in that. I was only interested in the wisdom and the knowledge that I could probably learn from him. Maybe I could teach him something. Maybe we could learn something together. So, it turned me off or whatever, but he kept on being pushy and pushy and pushy and texting me, trying to come over my house and letting me know when he free. And I just finally had to just tell the brother, now this is a 50-year-old man, mind you. I said, listen, I said, I will let you know if and when I want to see you. And then I left it at that, and I guess it kind of kicked him in his ego and his pride, so he had to stand down pretty much. So the moral of this here story is, on this beautiful, amazing, wonderful day, is that don't you dare run around here and sexually join yourself with anyone. Don't sex without a purpose. You're sexing because of what? Because you think that your opposite sex you're supposed to hook up, or maybe you're turned on by the knowledge or the energy of the consciousness or whatever, but sexing just because is not even worth it. You do know that we create soul ties when we have sex with a person, and you really don't get to find out the real gist of a person. You don't really get a chance to see the person without the mask after you have just let them walk the dog in your wound. You hear me? And made you drop it like it's hot. You bent over and touched your toes and did every sexual thing you could possibly do with this person. Then you will start finding out who this person really is. And that's the same way with the guys too. Once you done did and invested in and sexed her up and licked her up and down and did all those things, then you'll see who you're really dealing with after the fact. So are you sexing just because, or are you sexing for a purpose? If there is a such thing, but I guess the purpose would be that you're joined with someone. You're in a union. You're in a collective union, and you're on one accord, and it's about the equal give and take. But if you're sexing someone just because you're attracted to them sexually, then only thing you're sent to do is to start is to set some type of division or disorder in someone's life, because that's out of order. Now, sure, when I was younger, I didn't see any fault in that because that was the thing to do. But as you begin to get older, and you see things, and you need stability in your life, then you understand you cannot afford to be sexing just to be sexing. Or other words, you can't be fucking just to be fucking. Just because you're mate, or just because somebody you met, dick can't stay on soft, so they think you're the one that's supposed to cater to their sexual desires and needs, and you don't have any type of commitment whatsoever, but they want to fuck you down. You hear me? So I've met the young men who dicks pop up with the rush of a wind, and it seems like I'm meeting older gentlemen who, although they're not as forward, but they are forward, they still want the same thing. So why are you fucking? Why are you having sex? Why are you giving your soul away for a fuck? Because that's ultimately what you are doing. Because once you create those soul ties, you have to deal with the burdens that are attached to them, and they are oh so heavy. So be mindful who you spread your legs to, queens. Be mindful who you running up into, kings, because once you do it, there's no do-over. You're going to have to learn how to cut them ties then. And it's so easy to get into situations, but it's oh so hard to get out of them. So this video is just to serve the word to the wise, I guess. So be careful who you're running in. Be careful who you share your love to, because it's not worth it. You're worth it at the end of the day. Yeah, you're good. You're bet more than just a good fuck, but you're worth more than a fuck. Period. You know, if we introduce our spiritual side instead of the things we can do physically and in the bed, then maybe we'll have some long lasting relationships around here. You hear me? Because you can easily replace a fuck buddy. You hear me? But what about a spiritual partner? That's for the grown folks. You hear me? So, having said that, I thank you so kindly for tuning in to Brown Eyes on this beautiful, amazing, wonderful day. And remember, so as a man thinketh in his heart, then so is he. We are to think upon things that bring us a good report. We are to speak things that are not as though they were already. Thank you so kindly for stopping by, chatting it up with Miss Brown Eyes. I ask that you like this video, perhaps subscribe to my channel, leave me a comment, and I will talk to you another time.